Hello everyone and welcome to another Halo Caesar review. Today I'm reviewing Cross Clues, Cooperate to Connect the Clues. This is a game published by Blue Orange Games and designed by Gregory Girard. And this is a fantastic little game of guessing, well, you know, obviously there's going to be a lot of comparisons of this to Codenames. Codenames is a very successful, popular little party game where you're trying to get people to guess certain words with a very minimal clue and not guess other ones. And so I was really interested to see kind of how this would compare and how this would play. This is a fantastic little game. So again, it is a cooperative game. You're all working together. 2 to 6 players, ages 7 and up. But let's go ahead and show you what comes in the box. So this is one of their, Blue Orange has released quite a few games actually in this box format, where it's like this, and it just has this magnetic side here that closes and kind of snaps shut with that. It's a very well-designed box, honestly. Like, it's not going to just come open. It works really well. It's got a little indent here on the top and bottom. But yeah, it works really well. Great size. They're able to keep it, you know, the box is a little bit smaller like this for the game it is. So you don't have this huge box for like this tiny game. So it makes it more compact, which I really like. And I don't know, I'm a fan of these kind of book type magnetic things. I don't know what to call it, but they're cool. And they work really good. So component wise, great. The rules here, very clear. The game is really, again, really fairly simple. There's a couple different ways that you can, you know, look at this and play it. So I appreciate the variation here. Again, this game here includes a timer, which I believe is a 5-minute timer. Yeah, so 5-minute timer. If you play, so there's kind of some different difficulties in like the size of the grid. So for like the smaller ones, you could just use the timer for, you know, the 5 minutes. If you're playing the largest one, you'd actually use this twice for 10 minutes. So I haven't really tested this out much. You know, given the choice, I think the timer will add a good impact to that. When I play with my family, though, with the kids, I find that we usually just like to set the timer aside and not put that added pressure onto the kids as we're playing. And we've had a very good time with this game. So what else comes in the game here? You have these little square cards, and each of these cards are just represented in the grid size. So you're going to set up a grid here with the different cards, something like this, 1 through 4, A through D. Again, there's different ways that you can play this. You can play the classic, which is your 4x4. You can do an express one, which is a 3x3 only. Or you can go expert and go all 5x5 grid here. So you're dealing with more words, more possibilities, and definitely makes the difficulty higher there. And then you have these are the cardboard, actually, that you place out that I just showed you. And so they fit there. So once you've done that, you have the cards that you're going to shuffle up and deal out to people. If you're playing with smaller grids or smaller amount of players, you're going to have options of the cards. You may only have, if you're playing the other one, you're going to have 1 card to look at. But you would basically have this. After you set it up, you're going to shuffle those and you're going to place. They're double-sided, and there's 2 words on each side. So you got a lot of replayability out of just a very few number of cards here. A very few number of cards. There's a good stack of cards here, but they're double-sided, and they both have 2 each side has 2 words. So you have lots of different words, combinations that you can play with here. You can honestly make your own as well as this game goes on. Very easy something to do. Of you can even just make a bunch of words, draw them out, and then just assign them. And so you're very easy to kind of expand the game yourself, which I think is really cool because of the way that it's set up with the grid. And these word cards, you don't have to have these. You can use any words that you want, which I think is a really cool thing, but provided a lot of different words here as well. So you may need, if you have, let's say, D1, then you are trying to, let's say that our words here are wheat and heavy. You're trying to tie those 2 things together, just 2 different words, and you only have 1 word clue to give people. So you're looking at not only those 2 things, but what are the other words? Because I don't want to give a word that can relate to something else. If they guess it incorrectly, I would just put this face down out of the way and draw a new one. So we did not get that one. So the idea here is you want to try to get as many, that grid filled as much as you can, right? So it gives you an idea here of the small, the norm, the express, classic, and expert, the different size grids, how well you do, you know, if you're only missing one, or, you know, if you miss a bunch, kind of how well you're doing on the scale of this game itself. But we've had a lot of fun with this. This is a really, really great game. It can be very, very challenging, and sometimes, you know, you'll have someone kind of sit on a clue for a while until the grid kind of fills up some more so that they can, you know, if this whole grid is filled of heavy, you know, I may just give a clue for my wheat clue now, or the opposite. If this is basically all filled up other than one, well, maybe I can then just give a word for that's very, very clear, right? Like bread or something like that. And it's like, oh, wheat bread. And bread may not be something that you would relate to heavy, but it's, you know, all the other places, all the other clues have already been revealed, so that makes it easier as the time goes on, hopefully, to get some more of those. But every one you miss is one that gets set aside. You know what it is, but the other players may not know what it is yet. So there's a little bit of memory that goes on too as other things are revealed. You might be like, oh, we were thinking that, it wasn't that, it's probably the other one. So you kind of have to remember some of those other ones to be successful with those. But that's it. That's the game, Cross Clues. Again, very, very simple. You just set up the grid, shuffle these out, depending on... So the setup is just going to be a little bit different depending on the size. So if you're going to do an express one, you're going to need to remove a few of these, right? If you're going to play the normal one, you need to just remove the last row and column. But very scalable, so you can do a quick game and an easier game on the smaller grid, or you can put it up by that 5x5 and really kind of have a brain-burning session there of, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to connect? You add the timer to it. You're going to add some more difficulty as people are pushing and you're trying to get this grid complete in a set time frame. But you can also not play with the timer and make it a little more relaxed setting to play. So I just, great little game, great size, box here, components, everything works really, really well. I really enjoy Cross Clues a lot. Another option if you're looking for, you know, one of those family games that you can work together. And again, in Codenames, you're dealing with like teams. This one you can work up and you're all working together. And so it's just that cooperative experience, I think, works really well in this format. So Cross Clues, great little game. Another great game to consider for, you know, holiday gifts. I think it's a great game. And that is how Lou sees it.